guys, my name is Partha Srinivasan, and I am the host for the ECU360 podcast. It's the first podcast series, it's the first podcast episode in this series, and we have a nice, huge lineup of interesting guests coming up soon. But today, we have with us the Chief Beard Officer, Jerome Maharaj. Jerome, thank you for joining us today.
Hi, Partha. How are you?
You have to tell us a little bit about why you're the Chief Beard Officer.
So I like to style my beard in different ways, throughout the course of the year. I don't like just one style only. So depending on the week that you catch me, I'll have something different going on with it. I'll grow it out long. I'll keep it short. Different things.
All of this over the course of a week. You have to teach me how to do that.
It's good genes, unfortunately. Nothing more than that, I can say.
But tell us a little bit about yourself and your journey, your 19-year illustrious journey over here at ECU360, and what have you been up to?
Yeah, so I started off with our parent organization, ECU Worldwide. I think in August of this year, it'll be 20 years, in fact, that I'll have been with the organization. So I really started off from the ground up. I'm probably, what you can consider a success story, so to speak. I started doing ocean imports. I was a coordinator. I wanted to do something different, shifted into our export team. And then from there, I just further developed, went into inside sales, pricing. And then eventually I landed a role with our with the global division of our organization, working as a business process manager. So from there, that's where our director Vaishnav Shetty found me, and he asked me to join the 360 team, the digital team, and I said yeah, and that brings me here.
So the 360 team is actually the reason we're having this podcast, right? And so tell us a little bit about why the 360 tool or this initiative is so crucial.
So honestly, I really believe in the evolution of, not only of the industry, but also the nature of communication, right? Where we're no longer having to literally run to somebody, to ship goods. We no longer need to just call them on the phone. We want to be able to do that seamlessly and interactively in a real-time basis. And, to do that is to do it digitally. So whether it's going onto our website, whether it's accessing our mobile application, or directly connecting with us, from system to system through EDI or API connections, we're trying to get directly integrated with clients and give them the tools that they need to complete, the task that's at hand, which is to ship cargo from point A to B.
But I don't think that this is part of really a digital transformation sort of solution. It's more of the need of the hour, the way it's kind of evolved from where it was. I mean, you obviously have feet on the ground, and that's something that's always been a core of the business. So tell me a little bit about the strategy that went into building it and then obviously rolling it out. But we'll get to that in a little bit. So tell us a little bit about how you went into building it.
So, for myself, I actually joined the team slightly after it had been created, right? I'm actually probably more of a user of the system initially, rather than a person creating and driving where it was going functionally and feature-wise. So, where it initially came from was just the need to be able to start taking bookings and start to be able to quote our customers online, and being able to do that, in as seamless a fashion as possible. So it really evolved from that to, and in fact, those were two separate systems in the past. It was two separate logins, two separate initiatives. On 360, we merged those together. The ability to quote and book has been put under one roof. So it was no longer as complicated and didn't require as much complexity to get involved with. In terms of the evolution of it, I'd really say it's just the fundamentals of the business. Hey, can I get a quote? Can I book it? And then tell me, where do I need to submit my instructions? That's the core foundation of the platform itself, and that's really what's then driven us into what we're seeing today and some of the exciting things that are coming ahead of us.
But are you actually seeing your entire ecosystem migrating to this kind of a solution, as it may be? Because typically, your industry, the industry that we're in, is a very, like I say, feet on ground, hands in the dirt kind of a situation. So what's it like moving into this kind of a digital solution?
It's exciting and it's scary all at the same time, right? When your feet on the ground, when you're going to see your customers, going to talk to them live, there's a bit of anxiety that builds up there, right? There's a bit of just an uncomfortable feeling sometimes in terms of, hey, what's coming, what's gonna happen when I'm there, because it's not always
butterflies in your stomach sort of situation, right?
Exactly. Yeah, a little bit of apprehension. You get nervous, but it's an exciting kind of nervous, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same thing with ECU360 and the road that we're going down, the path that we're taking, where we're doing the things that customers come to expect. But now we're also looking to go beyond that. We want to do things that will delight them truly, right? And that they're not expecting, but that we're going to deliver on anyways. So expanding the ecosystem is one of those forays that we're getting into right now. We're starting to test the waters in several avenues with a few ventures to see how that pans out and see if customers like the path that we're setting forth in front of them, and if it's something that they could take advantage of and make use of.
So are customers liking what you put in front of them?
So far, so good. We are the #1 LCL carrier in the world, and VOCC that is. And our platform has an amazing adoption rate, and an even more amazing retention rate. We up to 90% of our users, once they're on the platform, they stay on the platform. They enjoy what they're going through. We give them several layers and opportunities to provide us with feedback if they feel that the system is not performing to their expectation, or likewise, if they just want to see something new, if they need the system to do something for them, they have an opportunity to ask that of the team. And then we can sit down and evaluate the merits that request has.
Tell me a little bit about the user experience that went into kind of creating this for your entire ecosystem, because I believe that your entire ecosystem can actually live on ECU360.
1,000%. So, when you're thinking about the user experience, what you're really looking at is the overall customer journey. Right. That what's their thought process? How are they coming to the platform? And it's really about thinking about that as a basis of a premise of how you're going to start building your tools, your systems, and your ecosystems thereafter. It's not that the client just comes to you to make a booking. Why did they come to you to make a booking? And why did they choose you? What brought them to that point? So they interacted with a customer. Well, what was the needs of that customer? How can we help meet their goals and their expectations, so that who is your customer can then say, hey, I have a solution for you. In fact, you're going to love what's coming up. You're going to love how I'll be able to transition your cargo, move it. You'll have real-time visibility of your freight and just transition it on through that. And then take their initial reason for coming onto the platform and say, hey, by the way, there are other things that you can do while you're here on ECU360. We have other things that can possibly address other matters that you're going through, or other types of business that you're dealing with, and provide you with solutions there.
So your business is actually help your customer's customer. Am I correct?
That's correct. Yeah, that's a great way of phrasing it. We're here to help our customer's customer, and even if there's an earlier touch point than that, help the customer's customer, right? And get down to the root of where the real journey has begun, and to just eliminate as many of the hurdles and challenges that are faced throughout the entire process.
So walk us through a little bit about the different touch points. You mentioned touch points, and that's a very important aspect, right? So tell us a little bit about the ecosystem, the different touch points that your solution can actually help.
On today's touch points, we definitely pride ourselves on the 3 core aspects, which is the initial touch point. You need a rate. You need to be able to identify how much it's going to cost to move freight from point A to B. A lot of systems in the past would only be able to give you what we call a terminal-to-terminal rate, a rate just from port to port. ECU360 has now expanded itself to be able to offer door-to-door solutions. That's one touch point. Second touch point is the ability to transition that quote that you received from the system into an actual booking, and then further convert that to submit your instructions. We then offer the ability to track and trace your cargo in real time. You can also utilize the system to release your freight depending on the country that you're in, and some of the levels of accesses that we've given. We're working on some new exciting features to allow customers, let's say at the quotation level, if they've received, a competitive rate and they're still interested to ship with us, to allow them to come onto the platform and say, hey, you know what, I have this better quote here, this better rate. I'd like to, but I want to ship with you with ECU Worldwide, with ECU360. Can you match that? And we give them the opportunity to do so.
As all digital transformation products, there's this big fear that you're actually taking away jobs. Is that the case with this as well?
See, initially, that's one thing that a lot of people would initially think of, right? Oh my God, digitalization, that means jobs are going to be taken away. And the same thing would probably apply for something like outsourcing, BPO. You initially think, jobs are going to be lost because you're outsourcing. That's not really the case. It all depends on the structure and the strategy that you utilize and leverage these tools with, right? Functions, as an example, but you can still maintain the job. You can still maintain the person to perform higher level functions. And that's the same thing with 360. It's not here to take away a job. It's here to enhance the job that the people are currently doing so that they don't have to worry about the mundane or the less, what I would call time-consuming tasks that take away from their ability to truly provide customer service where it's necessary. And that's the core focus of the platform, the customer, right? And providing them with the service that they require. So it's not about taking away jobs. It's really about giving the time to our customer service team to perform the real nature of what we want them to do, which is to, be available for the clients and help them out throughout their journey as they're going along through it.
Walk us through the different people who would be affected or who would be helped by your tools or by the solution you offer.
So when you're looking at it from a customer perspective, there's really several layers that we're trying to address. There's the high level managerial layer, right, where we're trying to offer visibility on their shipments in a clean and the concise format. And then there's the operational layer where you're trying to give that visibility to the operators themselves to easily identify, okay, well, what's happening with my cargo? What's the status on it? What's my next action point that I need to now take on this? And where do I need to go from there? So if the cargo is currently sitting at the port, okay, well, is there something that's missing from myself? Do I need to then take an initiative towards getting it moved? Or is it just a matter of waiting for, clearance to occur and then, it takes its way out to its next steps? So it's really, we're looking at the managerial layer. What does the manager or supervisor require? And then what does an operator then need in order to make their day-to-day lives as simple as possible?
In the months that you've been testing this, or in the years that you've been testing this, tell us a little bit about your experience as to what are the obstacles that have faced and how have you overcome those?
So some of the obstacles that we faced, in fact, I'll probably talk about one of our features here, which is the booking element that we have, right? Right now, one of the obstacles that we've encountered is that the nature in which we place a booking onto the system today, it's a stepper format, meaning when you go into the system to make your booking, we'll take you through step 1, step 2, all the way up until step 5. And that was necessary in the past because there was so much information that customers want to have the ability to enter, but not every customer globally needs that. So trying to find the balance between, okay, how can we give everybody what they want, but make it as simple and easy to understand so that they don't get confused or overwhelmed? That was a challenge that we've encountered. And one of the updates that we're going to have coming up shortly is on the booking platform itself, where we plan to remove the stepper format. So fewer clicks are going to be necessary. We're trying to put everything onto a single screen, simplify the view, make buttons that are there easily legible and easily understood as to what the context and meaning is behind each and every click that they can perform. And just focus the attention on the core elements that they need to provide us with in order for the booking to then be generated. So tell us, where do you want to go to? Tell us, what do you want to move? And, pick the sailing that you want it to depart on. As simple as that is as quickly as they should be able to go through the process. And
so instead of 5 steps, it's 5 clicks?
5 steps, 5 clicks, exactly. That's our goal that we're trying to achieve. Yeah, I think if we looked at it on a click level, I believe the current process is anywhere between 15 plus clicks, and we're gonna get it to below 10 for sure.
Awesome. So it kind of segues into my last question, which is what's coming up?
So what's coming up? That's an exciting one. There's a lot coming up, to be honest with you, and there's a lot that I'm very excited about as well. The top two things that I'd probably talk about are going to be a new dashboard. So when you first get onto the platform, when you log in, we're going to revamp the dashboard entirely. We're trying to make it, as I said, a lot more user-centric and a lot more catered to the individual that's starting to log on, meaning give them day-to-day visibility on the managerial level, give them access to KPIs, to statistics for their shipments, and not only for their shipments, but also for their own teams, where they can view, okay, well, what's the adoption rate for their own teams using our digital platforms? Are they utilizing the system to the full potential, or are they still sending manual requests into our staff and our organization, and trying to convert them digitally as much as possible? Another element that we're working on is the ability for customers to submit their delivery instructions for door-to-door shipments online, right? So this just gives the client the simple ability to give us, their instructions on where they want their goods to be delivered to. And right now, that's something that it's shocking, but it doesn't exist, on the platform. But we will be adding it.
So door delivery means that you'd also do custom clearance and everything for them?
If they require that. So we can perform customs clearance, right? It's typically just needs to be requested. We would need to give them a rate for that, and they can then accomplish it. Yes.
Nice. For the first-time user who's coming on to ECU360, what would be your welcome message?
My welcome message for a first-time user would be, step one, thank you for choosing ECU360. We're humbled by the fact that you did decide to come onto the platform and utilize our services. Part two is we hope that the journey on the platform will be as smooth and as seamless, as we've tried to make it to be. And if there's any hiccups or hurdles along the way, don't be shy. There's a feedback button, and we make it prominent for the user on every screen that they can easily click on it and give us that feedback so that we can continue to improve. I don't believe in the once it's set it and forget it. I believe in constant iterative small changes towards continuous improvement. If you stay stagnant and let's say you have something that's perfect and you don't touch it, well, it's going to wither away after a certain point. There's going to be someone else doing something better, or you're just not going to have transitioned over it as quickly as you should have. So it's really about constant evolution. The platform will never stop changing. It will never stop growing. We just need to make sure that we focus and harness that power and that attention as concisely as we can so that customers continue to get the most value out of it.
Awesome. Well, thank you. I think that was a nice, quick, short conversation talking about your journey with ECU360, and it's been a lot of fun, actually.
Indeed. Thank you so much for having me. Really appreciate it. And, looking forward to seeing this online soon.
Super. Thank you, Jerome. Thank you guys for joining us for this podcast. We will have more exciting guests coming up soon, so watch the space.